So why are you depressed? Why is it that people out there are walking about like zombies, walking about like people who don't really know where to direct themselves? People that seem to be in an environment where the people around them are quite happy, but they're falling way short on how they're feeling. There's a reason for it. Depression doesn't come overnight. Depression is not a disease. Depression is not something you catch from someone or your immune system goes down and you get it. Depression comes from repeated standards. What's a standard? A standard is how much you make a year. Many men out there make 40 grand a year, and they'll make 40 grand a year and they'll just slightly move with the market, but that's the standard. That's the amount they make with whatever job it is. They make that every year. It's a standard with the mum who's raising the child. The child is going to go to school, going to go to here, and I don't care what they do outside of school, but as long as they get these grades, that's alright. The standard's this grade. It's the person that says, as long as I have a girlfriend, then that's alright. My standard is I just can't be lonely, so I'm always going to have a girlfriend. Standard is whenever you're creating something and you say, that's alright. It doesn't have to be what, I don't have to put my best into it. It's alright. That's what a standard is. Some people have massively high standards and some people have zero standards. What's a massively high standard? Going to failure every single set in the gym is a high standard. That means that you're willing to push yourself beyond your limits every single time you're in there, through every single set that you do, with every single exercise that you do. What's a low standard? A low standard is you go into the gym with no plan, with no excitement, no determination, you put in no effort, you make no progress, you get distracted, you talk to people, etc. So that's someone with no standards. How does this fall in alignment with happiness and depression? If you continuously go day in and day out with making no action, with not doing things that push you in a direction that you know you want to go in, because happiness and progress are interrelated. A person that progresses with life, who goes in a direction that they want to go in, is very happy. But how often is it that people have made massive successes in their life, but then they just start to accept where they're at, and then the happiness starts to decrease, and then they start to complain, and then they start to become unhappy, etc. And how often is it you see someone who starts with so little, but they just keep grinding and grinding and grinding and creating things that they want, and slowly they keep becoming happier, they become healthier, they become more alive. Because whenever you have a purpose, a goal, a mission to work towards, whenever you put in that effort continuously, where you're having to be engaged, where you're having to respond, you don't have time to get caught up in a depression, to get caught up with sadness, to be pissed off with the world. Because the world's going to be exactly what it is, with or without you. Whether you work hard, whether you do nothing, whether you're happy, whether you're sad. You're getting caught up too much in this small, tiny world of yours that you think it's everything. So if you're happy, then everything's okay. And if you're sad, then the world's going to go bad. But the world's going to do whatever it's doing with or without you. So it's actually up to you. This is your responsibility. This is not something that you label and you say, I'm stuck here and I can't do anything else about it. I'm fucked, leave it. No, this is where you identify anything that's going wrong in your life. It's up to you to do something about it. You can't change what other people do, and you're not going to be able to change immediately all of the circumstances in your life. But if you can put in this effort right now and build up this momentum where you identify what you don't like, that's fine to do. You don't ignore what's wrong in your life and just say I should be happy. No, you say I don't like this, I don't like that. Go into the specifics, identify the problems, identify the things you don't like, identify the things that need changed. Then you develop a mission, a goal, know where you want to go with life. If you can do those things, then you've given yourself the ability to go, I can change this situation and I can go forward. So that's the blueprint for your initial stage. You've just given yourself the clarity of knowing where to go. But then you have to go out and do it. You have to go out and execute. And guess what? As you do that, as you keep going out and keep pushing and keep getting these challenges going in your life, well then you go from the state of you're able to overthink the negative things. You're able to overthink how the world did you wrong, how you don't like what's going on around you. But then as you start to do that, then you continuously keep building up the habit, the unfortunate negative discipline. That becomes your discipline. Thinking negatively, being upset with what's going on, not accepting what's going on. Rather than saying, I'm going to change this. I'm going to go in the direction of saying, I'm going to not accept this anymore. This is where I'm at with life. This is where I want to go. And every day I'm going to keep pushing in that direction. As you do that, regardless of how tough the times are, you're going to massively elevate your depression. Now, if you're a person who hasn't been doing exactly that, you're a bit ahead of that person. You are taking some action. You are still doing things. You are still trying to change your life. But unfortunately, you might still be feeling depressed. Because there's a big difference between the person who's doing nothing and is continuously sad, and the person who is out there doing stuff, still having experiences with life. But unfortunately, whenever they come back to the house and they're with themselves, they start to feel depressed. That's a big difference. You're not spending 24 hours depressed. You're spending a few hours out of the day depressed. But you can still make the change. And this is it. This is the secret sauce that can change your life. If you're depressed, it's because you're not doing anything that's a high performance activity. As humans, we need to challenge ourselves and feel like we're doing something that's going to create that betterment, the betterment that we need. If you want to be that person, if you want to be that individual, then it's up to you right now to pick an activity out there, a goal or a destination that you can go towards. It's going to be able to give you that edge where you actually feel life. How often is it that people do the same thing over and over again that's easy? They get up, they have the same breakfast, they get in the car, they go to work, they talk to the same people with no excitement, no challenges. So it's as if they've been nearly sleeping all day. They're awake, but their minds aren't open, they're not engaged. So then those people go out and they come back and there's been no challenge, no excitement throughout their whole day. That's hard to be happy. And that is not a way for you or an excuse for that person to say, well, I have been going out and living. You've been going out and moving, but you haven't really been going out and living. To go out and live is to go out and be challenged, to really push yourself to a high limit. And if you want to have examples of activities that are those things, martial arts are high performance activities. Skydiving is high performance activity. Doing something that you're not used to. Some people get a cold shower every day. A cold shower for me is not a challenge. But you take someone who can't stand the cold and you turn on the shower ice cold, or you fill up the bath and you pour ice bucket after ice bucket in it and you fill it up all cold water and you jump in that. That's a high performance activity for you. That's going to shock you. That's going to wake you up. The more you can start to change your body and break up those old patterns, because those things are like the calcium deposits in the body, the fat deposits. There's stuff building up in there that you now have to work out. You're going to be a bit slow at the start. It's going to be a bit difficult. But as you keep doing the things that push the body, start to move the old negative stuff out, you'll start to be able to bring the more positive things in. And you'll also be able to have the energy and the excitement to go out there and do the new things. That's why you can start with someone who's depressed. And then as they keep working, just these gradual improvements, you're more than likely not going to go from the depressed person to the ecstatic person in a day. But make no doubts about it, you can go from the depressed person to one of the most happiest people within a short period of time if you keep doing those things day in and day out. So you need to identify where you're at with life. Where are you? Are you taking no action? Or are you just taking just enough? If you can find a way to up your game, to step up and do something different, some kind of high performance activity, and also put in the effort to identify what you don't like with your life and where you want to go. Not as a way to identify what's wrong with it so you can stay there, but more that you can identify what's wrong with it so you can get that mission to know where you're going. So it doesn't matter if the things that you don't like get worse. If you know where you're going, then you fight each and every day to go and get to where you want to go. If you can do that, man or woman, young or old, you will be happy for the rest of your life.